The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 336 of Daily Deck Review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the Fulton October's V3 playing cards. So, with no further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. Now here we have the Fulton October's, the V3 here, and there's like matte dark purple tuck box here with some glossy accents on the front, which will also emboss so you can feel the textures of all the design there. On the front here, it says Fulton's October there, with playing cards at the bottom, and it kind of looks like a gate, one of those gate doors to like a graveyard kind of there. Then on the front here, you got four different skeletons here. You got a skeleton dressed up like a ghost, then you got a regular skeleton, a skeleton with a pumpkin, and then another skeleton, and they're all running. And then you kind of got the bats and like the moon behind. Yeah. On one side, you got different skulls down the side there, in different like directions, and the same thing on the other side there. And they're also in that glossy finish, so it pops off the tuck box pretty nicely. Then on the bottom, you got the Dan and Dave logo in that kind of bone style there. And then there's a little bit of information there. It says copyright 2020. So these are from 2020, Brad Fulton, distributed by the Dan and Dave Playing Co., Los Angeles, California, made in the USA. And on the back, it's pretty much the same as the front of the tuck box. The same image just on the back there, still embossed as well. On the top, it says playing cards, also embossed. On the tuck flap, you just got the closer look at that moon with some bats in front of it. With that kind of cross hatching kind of like style there. On the inner tuck flaps, you just got two more skulls there. And if we take the cards out of the box, on the inside tuck box, it is just plain there. There's nothing there. It's just that matte dark purple colorway. But now that we took a look at this pretty nice tuck box, time to look at the cards. And first, we'll start with the back design. Here, so we have a fully inked back design. So we don't have the standard white border, so we got the standard black. So we got the black border there. And it's kind of like a negative kind of design. It's in a black and white colorway there. And then the skulls in the middle there kind of look like more of like a negative kind of effect there. And then you got the circle design there with the skulls, and you kind of got that wooden box almost like a coffin kind of design. Then you got the different skeletons there in the corners. So one that has a pumpkin on its head and one that doesn't. Then you kind of got that kind of barbed wire little fence design going all the way around, and then the black border. And if you flip it over, same design in both directions there. And one thing was fully inked decks, like this one is like the dark black kind of fully inked decks. That is if you use them a lot, the edges could chip, and I have used this deck a little bit, so you can definitely tell on the edges how it's turning white. It's not like all like fully black all the way down. And I see a little bit of the white peeking through there. So that's what can happen to fully inked decks. But now for the cards you get with the deck. And here we have not one, but two identical jokers here, and they're both a skeleton standing on one foot, and the hand and the arm is disconnected, with like another bone over there disconnected as well, and then it's fully inked faces as well. They're in that kind of negative kind of like design there with the black and white. There's also two identical jokers. And then you got a little extra card here, that same kind of design that you've seen on the back, which is like that skull there at the top, and it says Fulton's October's 2020, the year they came out, the third edition, first printing. As wind blows, no, as wind blows, no, as winds blow cold and candles flicker, daily departed, play pranks and guys, more tricks than treats, as the harvest moon rise. So a little quote or poem there, and it says produced by Dan and Dave, designed by Brad Fulton, and illustrated by Stephen Noble. And the last extra card here, we get a fully art card here in that kind of negative style look with the black and white. We got a little building there and a bunch of skeletons there. The one with the pumpkin right in the middle there, a little scarecrow. It's kind of like a graveyard kind of little party there, which is really nice and illustrated card there. Then we get to that custom Ace of Spades here. was in that black and white colorway once again. You got that big spade there. You kind of got like the barbed wire kind of fencing there for like the shape of the spade. Then you got the skeleton there for the stem of the spade. You got the two heads there in the middle with the ribs and the feet down there. And then you got that same Dan and Dave like bone logo there. With playing card co at the bottom, Hollywood, California. And then the rest of the cards are pretty standard. They're just in that the spades are in the white colorway with the black background, so it pops really nice. This is pretty standard, nothing too crazy going on there. Except for the six of spades is the only like different one within the spades because it has a little skeleton there and swapped out one of the spade pips for the little skeleton there. And then you got to the Jack, Queen, and King of spades, and they are fully custom core cards. They're in that black and white color, kind of almost like that negative kind of effect to it there. And they're fully custom. They're all different skeletons there. They're skeletons. Yeah. That black and white kind of negative like effect. And then you got the diamonds here, which I really like. But it's more of an orangey color. So it fits like the theme, like the black and orange for Halloween. So it pops really nice on here, on the black background there. And they're just standard diamonds. But as we start scrolling, the three of the diamonds is the one that has a little skeleton on it this time. And I really like this reddish orange color because it pops so well on black background. And then once again, you got the fully custom core card, Jack, Queen, and King of diamonds there. With the skeletons there in that negative kind of colorway. And the same thing for the club, Jack, Queen, King clubs. Fully custom with the skeleton core cards in that kind of black and white negative kind of design there. And the rest of the clubs are just standard, just in that kind of white kind of font. And the nine of clubs has a little skeleton on it. And the seven of clubs. With the rest of the clubs are just standard. And then lastly, we got the hearts, the Jack, Queen, and King of hearts. And we got the fully custom core cards once again as the skeletons. And the King of hearts has the touch again of the normal bicycle standard king there with the sword through its head there. And they're still in that black and white negative kind of colorway. And the rest of the hearts, just like the diamonds in that kind of reddish orange colorway that pop right off the cards. And that ace of hearts has that little skeleton on it. And also, so there's the little four of hearts has a little skeleton on it as well. And lastly, the ace of hearts here, which has a little crow on it, and a black and white kind of colorway. There. Well, now that we took a look at the cards, time to test the handling. And first we start with the springs. And sometimes fully inked decks could be a little bit thicker. Not all the time, but sometimes they could. So first we start with the springs. And in this case, there was definitely no thickness or stiffness to the cards. It's slightly over a medium kind of a bend and flex to the cards, so it's a nice flex and bend. Makes for some nice smooth springs. So definitely no issues with the springs. Now on to the fans. You got that nice black and white colorway. Now for those nice fans there. With the colors that pop right off that dark background. And as you can see, they spread pretty evenly. You can see most of the pips and numbers. No real stickiness or clumpiness to the cards. Nice and smooth and spread pretty evenly. Now onto the Pharaoh. Super smooth Pharaoh there. And then interlocked and weaved flawlessly. Now for a giant fan of the face of the back design. Now for that reverse Pharaoh. And the reverse wheel wasn't too bad. I did have to slightly push them together, but they locked away pretty nicely once again. Now for a giant fan of the faces. And now time for the riffle shuffle or bridge shuffle. Okay, they're pretty smooth. That one just kind of got a little stuck together. Like they work pretty flawless. It's just sometimes they kind of just get a little stuck together if they don't interlock and weave properly. But the cards are nice and smooth. Work pretty much every time. So definitely no issues with the riffle shuffles or bridge shuffles. They're definitely not as smooth as some decks that I've had. Some decks are just super smooth and flawless. But these are still not pretty. They're still pretty good. Nothing wrong with those. They work pretty fine. Now time for a few packy cuts. Well, like I say, the pack of cuts are fantastic. No real issues there. Pretty average pack of cuts. Nothing too crazy. But they pack it pretty nice. They're not overly slippery. They won't slide your hands too much. And now time for that one-handed cut or a Shirley cut. Whoa, almost dropped them there. Now time for the dribble. You definitely have the grip with the faces up. Like you get a little bit more grip to it. With those nice smooth dribbles though. Still satisfying both ways. Just back design up is a little bit less grippy and more slippery. And now time for that spread fan. And lastly, spread the cards on the table. Well, like I say, a pretty fun and fantastic deck. Always like these kind of holiday themed kind of decks. And this one's pretty nice. When I first got the deck, I wasn't like a huge fan of the back design, but it has really grown on me, and I really like it now for what it is. It's a pretty nice back design. I like the white and black kind of contrast colorway there. And I like the skeleton kind of theme to it there. Pretty nice, because I like Halloween, and Halloween's kind of fun in there. And October is one of my favorite months. And one of my favorite parts of the deck is the faces there, how the spades and the clubs are in that white colorway. And you kind of got that orangey kind of colorway for the diamonds and the hearts. It really pops off that like dark background. And you got the fully custom court cards with the skeleton kind of theme to them. There. So overall, a fantastic design. Love the design. Brad Fulton has designed these fantastically. And the artist has done a awesome job on these. And then for that handling, for a fully inked deck, they actually handle pretty nicely. They're nice and smooth there. They spring pretty nice. There's not like too much thickness to them. They got a good flex and bend to the cards. So overall, a fantastic deck that Danny Dave and Fulton has created there. So fantastic design and fantastic handling. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 336 of Daily Deck Review. This has been the Fulton October's V3 playing cards from Dan and Dave, and I'm the Katie Kirkley, signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.